Hello students, today again we discuss about an important topic in real analysis, Dedekind cards. Very important topic for the concept in real analysis for further studies in real analysis. Dedekind card. Part or partition. Very important topic. So let's start this topic. And before starting this topic, I of course appeal to all of you, if you have not subscribed this channel, then subscribe this channel, and if you like these videos, then like and share with your friends, and if you have any suggestion, then comment me. So let's start. This is the introduction to the theoretical parts, and from this you will be very familiar with the properties of rational numbers and irrational numbers, how rational numbers and irrational numbers behave. This is very much you will be familiar with these rational and irrational numbers in real number system. First we define what is a recurrent card. Then based on this we will categorize these and provide also examples on the recurrent cards, and try to find out our understanding on the recurrent cards, its behavior, and more about this topic. Let's start now. Uh, Actually, real numbers are based on two types, rational and irrational. Real numbers are based on two types. One is rational and two is irrational. So, rational numbers, the definition of rational numbers, you know that it can be expressed by a quotient p by q, like q not equal to 0 and pq are what? Uh, Integer, and irrational are that which cannot be expressed by p by q, like q not equal to 0. These are irrational. So the two type of numbers generates real numbers system. Now through this we will also familiar with Dedekind cards. What is the definition of Dedekind cards? So a Dedekind card, or simply a card, is an ordered pair of rational numbers. Uh, this card this card this card is an ordered pair ordered pair of rational numbers. Here I am talking in for rational numbers. Since for irrational rational numbers, for irrational Dedekind cards cannot be defined very clearly. You cannot be confident on the definition of on by defining the Dedekind card on irrational. But it is very useful if you define the Dedekind card on rational number. Then you will have a very clear properties of Dedekind cards. So that's why it is better to choose rational numbers in place of irrational to define Dedekind card. So that's why I'm taking rational numbers. So ordered paired here will be x1 and x2, x1 and x2. So both are set of rational numbers having the following for properties, having some properties. If it is a Dirichlet curve, then it must have to fulfill some properties. So these properties are in this way defined as that the union of the ordered pair x1 and x2 must be the whole set of rational. This is the first property. Second property, it has to fulfill that no one can be empty. X1 cannot be null set. X1 cannot be null set and X2 cannot be null set. X2 cannot be null set. And 3 is that these are denoted in a very good way. D1 regards axiom, first axiom, regards second axiom, and regards third axiom. So third is that every rational number in x1 must be less than every rational x in x2. I am to say if x belongs to x1 and y belongs to x2, then uh, it must be that x for all x less than equal to for all y. This is x2. So this is the third axiom. Heidegger's fourth axiom is that x2 does not have any least number. This is an important one. X2 does not have any least number. Does not have x2 does not have any least number. So based on these four axioms, there can be two type of Dedekind curves. One, that if x2 does not have any least member, then where will the list member in x1. So it can be that one type is that x1 then carries this list number, and second type that x1 also do not carry the list number. So there are two types, and I will explain the two types of Dedican cards in this way. So you are now familiar with this Dedican cards, that there must be a ordered set of rational numbers which will have to be now the union of the two cards, two uh, pair of sets must be the whole set of rational numbers, and both must be non-empty. Means every element must every element in the rational numbers must belong to either the first collection. This is called lower class, and this is called upper class. So it every element in the rational numbers must belong to either lower class or upper class, and there is no element you will find out in the rational number which can escape from this classification. So it is clear from this union that there is find out no element which escapes from this classification. Each element must be covered by this card, and each element in x1, uh, no element, no class can carry two elements of two same elements in any class, because it is cleared by the third axiom that each element of the lower class must be less than the each element in the upper class. So no two elements, same elements, you can find out in any of the class. And fourth element have a special property that if you have any card on the rational numbers, then x2, the upper class, cannot take the least member. Where you will go to the card, the member cannot belong to the mm, upper class. Then the member go to the lower class either, or it remains to be uh, uh, out of this classification. So based on this axiom 4, we can divide this Dedekind class in two types. One type is that x1 has a x1 has a greatest number, because x2, the upper class, does not carry the least number. So x1 should have to carry the greatest number. And it is also find out by the properties of real numbers that it can be that x1 also, the lower class also does not have the greatest element, and x2 also does not have the least element. So how this type of class can be exampled? I will provide these examples. So x1 does not have any greatest number. So these numbers, of course, belongs to the set of rationals. Does not have any greatest number. First, I provide the first type of example of first type of class, Dedekind cards class. So let's see an example. First type of Redigan cards where the lower class have a greatest number. So how you can generate this? If we'll take example, I'm giving a simple example. Take take 5 is belongs to set of rational numbers. Now we'll take a card x1 where all the elements x are such that x is equal to and less than 5, and also x belongs to the set of rational numbers, and x2 will take all the elements y where y is greater than 5 and y belongs to set of rational numbers. Then it satisfies all the axioms of the Dedekind cards, and x1 the ordered pair x1 and x2 form a Dedekind card. You can very easily examine this, that that x1 and x2 fulfills satisfies all the axioms of Dedekind cards. D1 to 4. So it is a card. It is truly a card. Dedekind card simply called a card. It's a card. Now, if we take that 5 is not in this class, lower class, that if we change this, that it is just less than 5, x less than 5 and y less than 5, but 5 is also a rational numbers, and it is does not covered by the classes lower class and upper class. So you cannot fulfill the axiom, first axiom, that x1 union x2 is equal to rational number, because you will find that it is not equal to set of rational. It does not, this union of the two classes does not contain the element 5, which is also rational. Then x1 and x2 is not a card. So this is the examples of first type, and there is the contrary example also. Now we'll consider the second type of um, second type of uh, um, card, which tells that the lower class does not have any greatest number. Here you will find out that uh, x1 has a greatest number. If you will take less than equal to, then it has a greatest number 5, which belongs to the lower class. And here you can very easily look this, that the upper class does not have any lower element, because it is greater than 5, so you cannot get any element which is the you call least element. So if you wish to verify this, you can verify. If you will take, this is the first type, so I am now checking d4 that actually the upper class has any least element or not. So if we will take any element y1, which you will take the least element. Just I am taking the contrary part. Y1 is the least element which belongs to the uh, upper class. Then y1 is also a rational number. Then between 5 and y1, between 5 and y1, you will have a lot of rational numbers y1. You will find a lot of infinite number of rational numbers like y2, y3, yn, dot dot dot. Lot of infinite number of rational numbers which are all less than y1. So you can never get a least number when you will generate the upper class. So it satisfies the Dedekind's 4 axiom. So that's why if you will take here less than equal to, and in this way if you will define the two cards, two order set, then it will be a Dedekind card. And if you will consider the second type, that x1, the lower class does not have any greatest element. This kind of card you can generate by irrational numbers. If you will take the irrational number root 2 and define x1, that in this way, that x belongs to, x is less than root 2, cannot be equal to root 2 because root 2 is a irrational and x must have to be rational. X must has to be rational. So it cannot be equal to root 2. And x2, if you find if you take the upper class y, so it must be greater than root 2. So any irrational numbers actually generate a second type of class. So here y also belongs to set of rational numbers. Now we will have to verify that it will generate the Dedekind cut or not. So our first example is that d1 d1, here x1 and x2 generate, since x1 have all the irrational rational numbers less than root 2 and x2 has all the rational numbers greater than root 2, then it must cover the set of rational numbers. And you verify d2 axiom 2, then they both are non-empty. X1 and x2 both are non-empty. It is satisfied second axiom. Both are non-empty. The third axiom you can verify in this way. Here, if you know the properties of real numbers actually ordered inclusion, and there you can push less than order or greater than order. Since real line follows from left to right or right to left, all the members follow order inclusion. So through this property of real numbers, you can tell that all the elements x must be less than equal to all the elements y. So third example is also fulfilled. Now there is a question of exam 4, that x2 does not have any least element. So it is clear from by this definition that here root 2 is a irrational number. So of course there does not have any there does not have any rational number you can find out which is least in y, because the next after of the root 2. If you consider the next of the irrational number root 2, next greater than here root 2 is irrational, and if we will take y1, the next rational is the rational. Then if we consider that there belongs to a just greater than of the irrational numbers, a rational number y1, then also because set of rational numbers are dense, so in the neighborhood of root 2, in this neighborhood of root 2, if we take a very a neighborhood, epsilon neighborhood of root 2, so if epsilon will take many near to root 2 or less than 0, tending to 0, then we can find out that the next in the next element, rational element y1, we'll find out another rational element y2, an infinite number of irrational elements y2, y1, y3, y4, yn up to yn, infinite number of elements. So these elements all are less than y1. So you can never find out a least element in the upper class. You can understand this way. If you will take a less than uh, rational number like x1, then between the two rational numbers, we know that the property that there are infinite number of rational numbers which all belong to the neighborhood of the root 2, the irrational number. So you can never find out the least number in the upper class. So it is also satisfied that x2 has no least member, no least member. So any cut by this irrational number is of second type. It is simply a cut. So by a cut of irrational number, you of course get a Dirichlet cut this number. So by root 2, you will getting that a Dirichlet cut, you order pair x1, x2. You also go to root 3, you get again. You will go the exponential, you will go to the pi function. All irrational will give a Dirichlet cut if you follow the properties of the Dirichlet cut's properties. So in this way, this can be defined. Some more properties I'll discuss in later video. So continue to watch and of course, share with your friend and comment me how you like and dislike. So of course, comment me and thanks for watching.